Welcome to Balance Unleashed, your sanctuary for holistic well-being. Have you ever spent hours rereading a textbook, poring over the same paragraphs again and again, convinced that repetition will somehow magically imprint the information into your brain? Highlighting every other sentence, turning your textbook into a vibrant, multicolored masterpiece, feeling a false sense of accomplishment with each stroke of the highlighter, only to forget it all by morning? The frustration is palpable. The feeling of wasted time and effort weighing you down. You're not alone. This is a universal experience, a shared struggle among students everywhere. We invest time and energy into learning, dedicating countless hours to absorbing information, sacrificing sleep and leisure in the pursuit of knowledge. Yet knowledge slips away, fading like a distant dream, leaving us wondering where we went wrong. The problem isn't you. It's not a reflection of your intelligence or ability. It's the way we're taught to learn. The traditional methods, the rote memorization, the passive absorption of information, they simply don't align with how our brains are designed to function. Passive methods like rereading and highlighting, techniques that require minimal mental effort, create an illusion of mastery, a deceptive feeling that you've truly grasped the material, but don't build real knowledge. They create a superficial understanding that quickly crumbles under pressure. Our brains aren't hard drives. They're not designed for simple storage and retrieval of information. They're living networks that need active engagement. They thrive on challenge, on problem solving, on making connections between new information and existing knowledge. True learning is about pulling information out, actively retrieving it from your memory. Not just putting it in, it's about testing yourself, challenging your understanding, and forcing your brain to work. Highlighting feels productive. It gives you the sensation of actively engaging with the text, but it's just recognition, not recall. You're simply recognizing information that's already in front of you, not actively retrieving it from your memory. Watching a basketball game isn't the same as playing. You're observing the action, but you're not actively participating. Learning works the same way. You can't passively observe knowledge and expect it to stick. To truly learn, you must struggle. You must grapple with the material. You must push yourself beyond your comfort zone. Make mistakes and try again. Embrace the errors, learn from them, and use them as stepping stones to deeper understanding. We've been spectators, not players. We've been passively receiving information rather than actively engaging with it. It's time to get on the court. It's time to become active participants in our own learning. This journey will challenge your habits. It will force you to rethink everything you thought you knew about learning, and show you a smarter way to learn, a more effective, more engaging, and ultimately more rewarding approach to acquiring knowledge. It's not about working harder. It's not about cramming more information into your brain, but about telling your brain, this matters, keep it. It's about signaling to your brain that this information is important and worth retaining. We'll replace passive learning, those ineffective and outdated methods that have been holding you back, with the lasting power of active recall, a technique that will transform the way you learn and remember information. By the end, you'll know why old methods failed. You'll understand the science behind why rereading and highlighting are so ineffective, and how to build a stronger, faster memory. You'll have the tools and techniques you need to unlock your learning potential and achieve your academic goals. What is a memory? Not a file in a cabinet, but a connection between neurons. Imagine your brain's billions of neurons as stars in a vast cosmos. Learning creates a faint trail of light, a fragile connection. If you don't revisit it, the trail fades and the memory is lost. Your brain prunes away unused connections to stay efficient. Passive reading barely traces the path, it doesn't strengthen it. But when you actively recall information, you send a surge of energy down that path. Your brain notices, this is important, and reinforces the connection. Each struggle to remember physically strengthens your brain's network. Passive learning leaves you with scattered stars. Active recall builds constellations, structured, lasting knowledge. The struggle isn't failure, it's your brain getting stronger. In the quest for knowledge, we often seek the most efficient and effective methods to truly learn and retain information. But how do we move beyond simply absorbing facts and figures? How do we ignite real learning? The answer lies in a powerful technique called active recall, deliberately retrieving information from memory. It's about consciously pulling information from your mind, rather than passively rereading or reviewing notes. This active engagement is what solidifies learning. It's the difference between passively reading a chapter, where information flows into your mind without much resistance, and then closing the book to ask yourself, okay, what were the main points? What key concepts did I just encounter? Passive review creates the illusion of competence. You might recognize the information when you see it, but you haven't truly internalized it. Active recall, on the other hand, builds real knowledge. It forces your brain to work, strengthening the neural pathways associated with that information. For example, don't just read a list of capitals, passively absorbing the names without any real engagement. Quiz yourself instead. Use flashcards or simply try to recall the capitals from memory. That moment of searching for an answer, that feeling of mental effort as you try to retrieve the information, is the magic ingredient. It's the struggle that makes the learning stick. Even getting it wrong and correcting yourself, identifying where your understanding fell short, strengthens memory more than passive review. The act of correcting an error reinforces the correct information. This works for complex ideas too. It's not just for memorizing facts. Read, then explain the concept in your own words, from memory. Try teaching it to someone else or even just to an imaginary audience. You're not just recognizing terms, you're not simply identifying them when prompted. You're weaving them into a narrative, connecting them to other concepts and building a deeper understanding. Each retrieval is a mental workout, a cognitive exercise that strengthens your mind, forging new connections, building a more robust and interconnected network of knowledge. Are you ready to stop observing and start creating your own intellect? To move from passive consumption to active construction of knowledge? Active recall is the key. Unlock your learning potential today. In the quest for effective learning strategies, we often seek methods that truly engage our minds. Is there a method that embodies active recall perfectly? A technique that not only tests your knowledge but also solidifies it in a meaningful way? Enter the Feynman technique, a learning strategy named after the brilliant physicist Richard Feynman. Richard Feynman's secret was teaching complex ideas in simple terms. He believed that if you truly understand something, you should be able to explain it to anyone, regardless of their background. The method: learn something, anything you want to master, then teach it to a novice or imaginary child. Imagine you're explaining it to someone who has absolutely no prior knowledge of the subject. This forces you to break down the concept into its most fundamental components. Start by choosing a concept and studying it. Immerse yourself in the material, read articles, watch videos, and take notes, with the goal of explaining it simply. Your aim is not just to memorize facts, but to truly grasp the underlying principles. Write the concept at the top of a blank page as a clear title for your explanation. Then explain it in your own words, using analogies and avoiding jargon. Pretend you're talking to someone who's never heard of the concept before. Use everyday language and relatable examples. When you get stuck, when you find yourself struggling to explain a particular aspect, you found a gap in your understanding. This is where the real learning begins. This isn't failure, it's not a sign of inadequacy, it's a map to what you need to learn next. It pinpoints the exact areas where your knowledge is lacking. Go back, fill the gaps, and try explaining again. Return to your sources, research the specific point of confusion, and deepen your understanding. Repeat until your explanation is clear and simple. Keep refining your explanation until it flows effortlessly and makes perfect sense. Teaching forces you to confront what you don't know. There's no hiding behind jargon or vague concepts when you have to explain something to someone else. Each cycle deepens your understanding and memory. The more you explain, the more connections you make in your brain, solidifying the knowledge. The act of teaching is the ultimate test. It's the most effective way to assess your own understanding and builder of knowledge. It's not just about memorizing facts, it's about constructing a solid foundation of understanding. Try it, and you'll learn more deeply. You'll gain a level of understanding that goes far beyond rote memorization than by reading alone. It's a powerful tool for anyone who wants to truly master a subject. Imagine a tireless study partner always ready to quiz you. AI is making this real. AI can personalize learning, supercharging active recall at scale. Instead of just flashcards, AI tutors can ask you questions, adapt to your weaknesses, and explain concepts in new ways. AI automates practice questions and uses spaced repetition to boost retention. It tracks what you know and schedules reviews at the perfect time. In the future, AI will create immersive environments for practicing skills, like diagnosing virtual patients or designing bridges. AI won't replace your mind, but will amplify it. It democratizes expert-level tutoring for everyone. The principles of active recall, powered by AI, are now accessible to all. The future of learning is here. How do you use active recall outside study sessions? Make it a mindset. After meetings, pause and ask, what were the key decisions? What are my action items? This quick mental summary cements important details. After reading a book chapter, pause and summarize the main argument before moving on. For podcasts, explain the core message to an imaginary friend. Learning a language? Name objects around you in your target language. Meeting someone new? Use their name, then recall it later. Each retrieval strengthens memory. Active recall isn't a chore. It's a habit that turns daily life into a learning lab. Make every moment an opportunity to remember. What if your moments of confusion are actually signs of growth? We think learning should be easy, but real learning is built on struggle. When you can't recall something, your brain is signaling a weak connection. Wrestling with a question before checking the answer primes your brain to remember. Effortless learning is often forgettable. Like muscles, your brain grows stronger through challenge and strain. The discomfort you feel is your mind building new pathways. Next time you're frustrated, see it as progress, not failure. You've found a weak spot, now you can strengthen it. Embrace confusion and lean into the struggle. This is your brain physically reconfiguring itself. The path to understanding is paved with productive struggle. Growth happens when learning feels hard. How can you rewire your brain for better memory in just 10 minutes a day? Consistency matters more than duration. Here's a simple routine. First, spend 5 minutes on a daily dump. At the end of your day, write down everything you remember about what you learned or worked on. Don't worry about structure, just pull it from memory. Next, spend 3 minutes turning what was hard to recall into specific questions. Formulating questions pinpoints your knowledge gaps. Finally, spend 2 minutes planning when to answer those questions, ideally, tomorrow. Use tools like Anki, Quizlet, or simple index cards for spaced repetition. The tool matters less than the daily habit of questioning and retrieval. This small investment pays huge dividends in retention and understanding. Start today, your brain will thank you. We've moved from passive learning to the science of memory. You now know how to build strong, lasting knowledge through active recall. These tools aren't just for students. They're for anyone who wants to learn deeply. Your brain is an engine of potential, ready to grow at any age. Active recall unlocks that potential, working with your brain's natural design. This is just the beginning. Real transformation comes from applying what you've learned. The path forward is one of questioning, retrieving, and teaching. Confusion is your guide. Struggle is your catalyst. So, what's the one thing you've always wanted to master? The next frontier of your mind awaits. What will you discover? Thank you so much for watching until the end. If you found value in this video, please consider subscribing for more content like this. Hit the like button if this was helpful, and share it with someone who might benefit from it. Have questions or suggestions for future videos? Drop them in the comments below. See you in the next one.